It's a beautiful, beautiful day in New York, Baruch Hashem. And, as you know, I think we had a big holiday here on Friday. Okay, that was the Independence Day of America. However, we have a different Independence Day that happened about 3,332 years, something like that, when we received the Torah on Mount Sinai. That was a big, big holiday that we celebrate till today, every year, and everybody knows that. Baruch Hashem. Okay, hope that everybody's doing well. All of you looking good. Baruch Hashem, happy and healthy, and wake up. You're up. You're not sleeping. Baruch Hashem, good. All right. There's so many things happening in the Torah portion that we missed one Shabbat and this Shabbat we're just talking about now. That we, of course, we learn from this Torah portion stories. It's just not a story. It's things that experience of life that we have to read, learn, and basically implement in our life. So we're going to go through a few samples to show you what it means. I mean, everything that's in the Torah is, of course, divine from Hashem. And Hashem, when Hashem tells us something, there's some message there that we have to learn and to apply. Bezat Hashem. And of course, as we know, Hashem wants to give us only the best, only good. For Hashem, his nature is good. And we mentioned that many times before. Hashem doesn't bring anything bad to the world only because of the consequences of our deeds and that we do here. And if you remember the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, then the people there were so bad that Hashem has to take care of them. He gave them some chances. Even Abraham really tried to talk for them and try to somehow, but it didn't help because they were too bad or too long, and Hashem did what he did because of them, not because he wanted to destroy the place. Anyway, that's only one example to give you the idea. And of course, if the people, especially the Jewish people, are good, they get all the plentiful in life. So that's very simple. Okay, so I don't know if we spoke about this major dispute between Korach. Everybody heard about the name Korach? Excuse me 1 second. Korach and his people. The book, the Ethics of the Fathers. It says there was a dispute between Korach and his people that he brought with him. It didn't say dispute between Korach and Moshe Rabbeinu. The dispute was between Korach and Moses. But the Mishnah says that it was machloket between Korach and his people. Why is that? To show you that there was a machloket, there was a dispute among them themselves. Not all of them agreed to do what the Korach asked them. Think about it. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, the leader of the Jewish people, he's talking to Hashem on a daily basis. What happened that all of a sudden people will come against him? Imagine this today, that we have Moshe Rabbeinu today. Who can even talk anything against him? But then, in those days, this man Korach, which was his cousin, he was a cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was very spiritual man. He had the Ruach HaKodesh, and he was very smart man. Everything was great. However, it says, I read someplace during last week that when you pretend to be like a part of a group, let's say whatever, you want to be a soldier. So you put the uniform and everybody thinks that you're a soldier because that's what you do, the way you look. However, or any other type of group, like baseball group, whatever, it says wearing the uniform doesn't mean that you really belong to the group. So Korach, he looked like 100% biggest rabbi. He knew everything. However, his intention was not the same Shammai. He wanted to reach personal selfish goals. And this is unbelievable. Listen to this Mishnah that it says here. It's in the Ethic of the Fathers, chapter 5, And it's Mishnah 20. It says, every dispute or every that is for the sake of heaven will endure, will happen. If we have dispute for Hashem, the dispute will somehow settle. But every dispute that is against Hashem will not happen, will not endure. What does it mean? So that Mishnah gives us an example. There was two big major rabbis about 2,000 years ago, and they called them Rabbi Hillel and Rabbi Shammai. They're big major rabbis, and they were arguing about halachot, about rules in the Torah, what to do, what not to do, how to do, the whole thing, daily life, Shabbat, and they were arguing and they were fighting. They almost were hitting each other. However, they did it for the sake of the Torah. How do we know that? Because they were relatives. They loved each other. At the end of the day, after the fighting in the yeshiva, they were family. They knew how to treat each other with respect. But in the yeshiva, they were fighting like unbelievable, almost physically, to get the point right. So when you have this kind of dispute for Hashem with love, then this dispute will settle down, and I know that and the halacha will be for either by this rabbi or that rabbi, but that will endure. The dispute that it's not the Shem Shamayim, like Korach and his group against Moshe Rabbeinu, it was not the Shem Shamayim. Korach wanted to. He was a rebellion. He was rebelling against Moshe Rabbeinu. All the cases that we had with the Jewish people in the desert, the Jewish people were complaining to Moshe Rabbeinu that they have problems, no water, no food, whatever. They did not try to rebel against Moshe Rabbeinu and to throw him out from his position. When Korach came to the picture, from jealousy, he wanted Moshe Rabbeinu to go out and to take over his position. So that was not the Shem Shamayim. How can you dispute Moshe Rabbeinu? Is it possible to dispute Moshe Rabbeinu? I mean, Hashem chose him to be the leader and to be number one, in the history. And then come Korach and decide, no, I think that, he doesn't have any advantage on us, and somebody else can be the leader, which means that he wants to take the job. So look what happens to somebody that have this kind of attention of jealousy, lust, and respect. What did he want, this Korah? He was jealous for Moshe Rabbeinu. How come he is the leader and not him? And he wanted, of course, respect out of this. So again, the ethic, the book, the Masechet Avot, the Ethic of the Fathers, they talks about people that have this problem. And we can see it today, we can see it every day, and we can see it everywhere. This is a major lesson for all the people, not only Jews, all the people at large. And it says like this, it's very simple. However, it's really mind-boggling, and I think it's a kind of a nuclear power. Look at this. It says, Rabbi Elazar Akapar says, very famous rabbi, said, jealousy, lust, and glory remove a man from the world. What does it mean? Jealousy. Oh, you see, I mean, it's a human nature. Okay, you have a Toyota, okay, and you're happy with it. But then when you see all the people driving Mercedes and all the others, you say, oh, Hashem, it's not fair. How come he has this and only this? They're starting to jealous. Or somebody has a small house and then all the neighbors have a bigger house or whatever. They start to jealous. Now, some people, because of this jealousy, they want to get what they cannot get. So let's say a man is jealous that his neighbor has a big house and he doesn't. He said, you know what, I want a house like him. So he started to take some loans or whatever and get in trouble. And before you know it, he cannot get the house that he wanted and he loses what he has. So now he is altogether out. Some people can stay alive with a lot of problems. Some people just, go someplace else. So that's what it means. We cannot see other people and be jealous from them, because whatever Hashem gave us, That's what Hashem gave us. If Hashem wants to give us more than that, He will. Or we have to ask Hashem for better life, but for better situation, but not to be jealous from other people, especially when we know that we cannot get it. But some people have this kind of problem and they're jealous. What can we do? And running after the lust, the tava of lust. Some people have no control and they want to get whatever they want to get, even if they cannot get it. And they know that it's not going to be good for them. So why doing it? Again, it's a human nature for people that cannot control this kind of lust and desire. And we see that every day, all day long, as a matter of fact. And then, chasing after respect. This is something that we can see every day. It's nothing new here. To be humble, like Moshe Rabbeinu, this is the best thing to do, because this way, you live your life quietly, and nobody's after you. You're not chasing after anybody to get something that you cannot get, and just have peace of mind. This is very important, to have peace of mind. A lot of people don't have that. The minute you have peace of mind, you're really in control of your life. It's very important. Now, be happy with what you got. As you know, again, the Masechet Avot, it says, who is a rich man? A man that is happy with what he got, with his lot. Whatever you got, be happy. Say, thank you, Hashem, for whatever you give me. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, there is a book that Rabbi, forgot his name for a second, I'll tell you in a second. He wrote, I don't know if it comes in Hebrew, in English, but it came in Shalom Harush, Rabbi Shalom Harush. He wrote this book from stories that happened, and the people came to him and they told him that the thing that happened to them. First, they came to him with a problem and they asked a solution, what to do. People have problems, different type of problem in life. So he said, thank you for what you don't have. For instance, somebody doesn't have a house. Say, thank you, Hashem, I don't have a house. Somebody doesn't have a job. Thank you, Hashem, I don't have a job. Whatever, whatever they have. And you have this book with stories, true stories, that people say that and they were redeemed. And Hashem gave them what they didn't have. So you see, it's easy to say thank you when you're rich. It's easy to thank you when you're healthy. You see, it's simple. But when somebody has a problem, then it's harder. Because a person say, yeah, it's easy for you to say that. But, you feel being in the situation, it's not going to be easy. You're right. It's not going to be easy, but that's the whole idea. To say thank you, Hashem, because Hashem knows exactly what is going with us in life in general. Okay, so that's basically the idea of jealousy and all this kind of thing, the negative character traits that we should stay away from them. And as a matter of fact, the Rambam talks about this character trait, and he said that one or two, the most bad character traits that we have to stay away altogether is, it's a gava, it's like to ego, the ego, and being angry, chaos. These two things we have to reduce to a minimum, and we have to, all the other rest of qualities, we have to be kind of 50-50. Don't be too much to this side or too much to that side. Let's say not to be too generous, spend all your money for tzedakah, and then you become to be poor. On the other hand, you cannot be stingy not to give any tzedakah. So I have to be, equal, even here. Baruch Hashem, that's the idea. But to stay away from ego and from anger all the way. Because, as you know, anger somehow brings to many bad results. They're very bad. So you don't even know to think about it. So that's the idea, to stay away from anger, to be calm, to relax. It's not easy, but you have to practice. Everything comes through practice, and try it. You know, the Vilna Gaon said, to change a character traits takes a long time, but if you really work on it, Hashem will help you to change to the good one. Bezat Hashem. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Somebody's saying, what about self-respect?
Self-respect. Of course, self-respect is very important, but not to be to a point to show off. I mean, everybody has to respect themselves because we are the children of Hashem, but we have to know how to do it, not to be like, you know.
She means like letting people step all over you.
Okay. So, okay, there were some rabbis in the history that they call them, they have to be like a doormat. And everybody will step on them, don't say nothing in return. No reaction. I don't know if this is a great thing to do, but the idea is to be a nice person, not to answer to be aggressive and to be using, I don't know, bad words, to be like in a very normal, I would say, like not Moshe Rabbeinu was he was very humble. Nobody could step on him, but they respected him because he was humble. You should be like that. Okay, people talk, they say bad things, don't answer, don't get into mahloket. As a matter of fact, this is a good point. I think the Gemara, I think it's Masechet Shabbat, I'm not, Shabbat, I think 88. It says, if there is a mahloket between people and a person that's been insulted doesn't answer, doesn't react, he is the most righteous man. Everybody will think, oh, he's a weakling, oh, he's whatever, he doesn't say anything, look at him, what's wrong with him? Say something to protect yourself. No, the minute he doesn't say anything, he is the most righteous man. So to show you that using the mouth in a negative way doesn't mean that a person is strong and smart. Right? So you have to know how to go.
Somebody else is saying here that Rambam says anger is like idolatry.
Oh, I didn't want to go to that because I didn't want to scare you. Mm-hmm. That clear message from the Rambam and other rabbis say that, and it's clear, it's very obvious. And they give an example that when people get angry to a point, then they lose everything and common sense, and they can even do idol worshiping. It's very clear, very obvious, and that's why we try not to go to this direction at all. And before a person get into idol worshiping, of course, he started to break things, to destroy things, and to kill, and then of course do idol worshiping. So this character trait is absolutely, we have to stay away from it as much as we can. It's better not to say anything than to be angry. I'll tell you a story about anger. It's unbelievable. This man had hard time, parnasa, to make a living, and he just got married, and he couldn't provide for his wife. So he said to his wife, he's going to go overseas to work, to make money, come back with a lot of money, and then start a family. So he went to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, give me one advice, what to do when I go away. He said, one advice, when you get angry, don't react immediately. Sleep on it one night, think about it one night, and then go and do whatever you wanted to do. The rabbi, that's it, say yes. Okay, so the man goes, he left his wife, alone. He goes, he comes back after 13 years with a lot of money. He comes home, and it was dark. He looks at the window, and he sees his wife hugging a person, a man. So what? I went overseas to work like a dog to bring the money, in my wife with another man. He had a sword. He said, that's it. He's going to go upstairs there, and he's going to finish with two of them. But he remembered what the rabbi told him. He said, before you want to do that, sleep on it. One night, The next day, do what you want to do, no problem. Okay, it was Friday night. Saturday morning, he goes to shul, and there was a big simcha, and they're calling this kid to bar mitzvah to come to the Torah. And he heard the name of the kid he didn't know, but was the father's name was his name. So he was very curious. And he found out that this boy was his son. He didn't know that he left his wife pregnant. So imagine if he was angry and he went to the house on that night and killed his wife and his son. You see, the rabbi gave him advice how to control himself. Calm down, relax, don't react quickly, and look how he saved his whole family. It's unbelievable. That's what we have to do. If somebody is angry, have to calm down, relax, think about it, and don't react quickly because it's from the Satan. There is a saying in Arabic. We used to say it all the time when I was a kid because I used to speak Arabic. My parents came from Baghdad, and they said that to react quickly, it's really a Satan advice because he wants you to get in trouble. That's when you think you're smart and you're not quick and quick reaction. No, it's a Satan reaction. Don't do that. Think about it twice. Without the shame. Okay. Any other question? Before move along. Okay. Okay. Without the shame. Yeah. Quick and another quick idea regarding to Parashat Chukat. There was something very very interesting. We're talking about the three major leaders that we have in our history. It's Miriam, Aaron, and Moshe. Why not Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam or something like that? Because Miriam, the Gemara said we had three major tzaddikim that, thanks to them, the Jewish people in the desert received three major gifts. Miriam, we received the water thanks to Miriam. Then the clouds we received thanks to Aaron, and the manna we received thanks to Moshe Rabbeinu. When Miriam died, there was no water because that's it. Her skut, there's no more skut for Miriam, so there was no water. And you know the story that the Jewish people came to Moshe Rabbeinu to complain, Moshe, we need water, what's going on here? They want to also to give him a hard time. And Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, go and talk to this rock and the water will come out from this rock. Now, what did Moshe Rabbeinu do? He did not talk to the rock. He hid the rock. Okay, the rock doesn't know. In either way, the rock doesn't know what's going on. But Moshe Rabbeinu was punished severely because he did not talk to the rock, he hid the rock. And the punishment was that he couldn't enter to the Holy Land. Yeah, that was major punishment. So that was Miriam with the water. Now, when Aaron died, in the same Torah portion, that's Chukat. When Aaron died, all the clouds that the Jewish people had, they stopped. Now, what happened? How did they have the clouds and the water after the death? They said because of the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu, thanks to him, they got the water back, the clouds back, and the man was still there. When Moshe Rabbeinu died, everything stopped, but then they were on the verge of entering to the Holy Land. So when they entered the Holy Land, they didn't have to have all this because the land gave them everything, and we know the rest of the story. However, to show you that Hashem is leading the whole, the Jewish people for 40 years with tons of miracles. Quick story that I heard, there's a story in the Torah portion about the snakes that came out and they were biting the people and thousands of people died. So they said, what happened? All the 40 years, there was no snakes, only now. So Hashem wanted to show the people, listen, I'm controlling the situation here. The snakes were there all the time, but I didn't send them to you. I don't want to bother you with the snakes. But when you go in bed, I let the snake come out and bite. And this is a message. Please, when you see the image of the snake that Moshe Rabbeinu was holding the shape of the snake, you raise your eyes up to see the snake and to see me and to know that I am the one that runs the world, nobody else. So this rabbi that said that, so he said, listen, all the missiles that Iran had and Hezbollah had and Hamas had and the Houthis had, they were there for years and years and years. And Hashem controlled them not to send them to Israel. But recently, Hashem did, and they sent some missiles and they hit some cities in Israel to show the people, look, who's running the show? Be careful, do tshuva, because that's the only way that I can protect you and nobody will hurt you. That's the message to do tshuva worldwide. Bezrat Hashem, we'll do tshuva, the Mashiach will come soon, and next Sunday he will teach us some Torah. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, we'll try to answer. Bezrat Hashem.
Rabbi, good to see you again.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you too.
Thank you very much. By the way, I think the Shalom Arush book you're talking about is the Garden of Emunah.
Yeah, this is one book, but then this when you say Todah, when you say thank you to Hashem, it's a different book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Another note. I don't know who asked a question before, but it reminded me many years ago when I was young and pretty.
You're still young. Really, I don't know. Okay. Okay.
I was working in child abuse investigation, and I dealt a lot with kids and probation officers. And one of the things we would tell them was that self-respect is in your head, and you can still keep self-respect and not fight back or not be violent like your aggressors. Because most of them, they roll through the system. They're victims, and then they victimize other people.
Right.
But that's another thing. There's a part in the Parashat, and there's a word I've been, I guess, obsessed with. Hamorim. The word rebels. In many places, in many parts of the world, they use certain words for young people. Not many, or most of them are not nice, they're derogatory. When Moshe calls the people rebels, is it because he is, very old and according his perspective, these are very young people who are being, I don't know, rebellious or loud or whatever not, or is it goes beyond that?
You see, the rebellious people were not only young. As a matter of fact, mostly maybe older people. And Korach was a cousin, and they were. And the Torah said that he gathered all the most respectable people from all the tribes, which means older people. The thing here that they wanted to show, I don't know, any kind of objection to Moshe Rabbeinu, but Moshe Rabbeinu was angry. Why he called them rebellious? The Moshe Rabbeinu, it was very hard for him to understand. All these things that Hashem did for you, all this miracle, everything that Hashem did for you since you came from Egypt, and now you come and you complain, you want to go back to Egypt to have the garlic and the fish and the onion or whatever. I mean, come on, Hashem gave you everything, saved you from everything, and now you come and you complain. So that's why he was angry. But see, even when he was right, but because he called them names, he also punished for that. This is unbelievable. Hashem, with all these righteous people, when you do something very small, he takes it very seriously and he punishes them very severely because they are in a higher level. If we say something rebellion about a rabbi, we're not going to be punished like severely. It's not nice. But when a big rabbi says something small against Hashem, let's forget it. It's a major punishment. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Somebody on here is from Sidaret. Sidaret?
Sderot.
Yeah, and she said the miracles are so many, it's difficult to announce in
Oh,
1 hour.
somebody from Sderot, that's from Israel. Oh, very nice. Yes, the miracles are so big and so many, we cannot even comprehend it. I mean, if you just think about it, we will do tshuva, and all the men will go to yeshiva, and all the women will go, I don't know, do whatever they can do just to do tshuva. It really, we heard stories here, and somebody will write a book one day, I'm sure, about all the miracles that happened during not only this war, during any kind of war. I mean, I'll tell you one miracle that I saw, I mean, in my own eyes, and I was there, and nobody can tell me that I was dreaming. In 1967, I think I told you that. In 1967, there was a big war in Israel. They call it the 6-Day War. There were 100 million Arabs, and we were only 2 million Jews in Israel. Now, what is the chances? They said if they walk, all this 100 million Arabs, if they would walk toward Israel, they will kill everybody without weapons. No, we were scared. We knew that something very bad is going to happen. As a matter of fact, the government prepared thousands and thousands of burial places, and there was no chance. There was no chance that this little tiny, it was not even New Jersey then. It was half of New Jersey, and that we're going to win the war. It was impossible. And they had all this propaganda in Hebrew. They were saying all this news in Hebrew from the Arab countries. They were saying that we're coming, we are there, we're gonna kill you all. That's what they used to say on this propaganda. We're gonna kill all the Jews. So we got scared. We were very scared. We didn't know what to do, but that was the situation. But it was a miracle that nobody can explain till today. Even the West Point army here in America, they cannot understand how the army won the war, because it was a miracle. I mean, I don't know if you visit the Golan Heights. There was no way that any army in the world, not even the Marines, can conquer this place. And the Suez Canal in Egypt, and the Jordanian, where they were so strong. And yet Hashem preferred the miracle. As they said that was a fact. In few hours, the Air Force, Israeli Air Force, destroyed all the Air Force of the other countries, Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Iraq. And it was unbelievable. And Baruch Hashem, Hashem saved us, and we came out very glorious and healthy. But we have to trust Hashem, not the army. That's something that we have to remember. Thank you very much for listening. Bezat Hashem, Mashiach is coming. We don't need no army, no weapon, nothing. Only Torah, and that's it. Bezat Hashem.